I'm with attorney Scott Bloom in Bucks County, specialist in elder law. So Scott, when people ask, should I put my house in a trust? What's the best advice you can give them?
The best advice I could give them is more of a question. I ask them, what are they trying to accomplish? It's important to know what you're trying to accomplish before you just say, I'm going to put my house into a trust. A lot of times I find people don't really know why. They just heard the word trust and think that's the thing to do. It's more geared towards what are you trying to accomplish by creating the trust? What kind of ownership do you need? What kind of control do you need after you pass away? Is that what you're trying to accomplish? So we have those conversations.
When would it be a good move for somebody to put my house in a trust?
Well, there's multiple types of trusts. The one that comes up the most in my area of law is the irrevocable trust. Mm-hmm. Somebody puts their primary residence or maybe an investment property at the shore in the Poconos. They put it into what's called an irrevocable trust, meaning they make a major commitment to basically put that house into a trust and give up ownership. They're still allowed to utilize the house, but they don't own it anymore. And that normally comes up when the thought process is if they get sick down the road, many years down the road, and they may need care, might find themselves into a nursing home situation, applying for Medicaid, that asset is no longer theirs because they have technically gifted it away and put it into the trust. So an irrevocable trust is what is used for those purposes.
And what's it cost to put a house in trust?
You're looking at probably around $4,000 or $5,000. Is a round number, I would say. I mean, you have not only the cost of, again, an irrevocable trust because you have to redeed the property in both cases. So you have the change of ownership of the deed. You change it from an individual ownership to trust ownership. So you have those costs, plus you have the legal costs. Also, usually when somebody does that and puts their house in trust, they tend to also put other assets in there at the same time. So that's sometimes where the cost is a little bit more, moves around a little bit more. It's hard to tell, but I would tell everybody you're probably in the ballpark of $4,000 to $5,000 would be probably a safe bet.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
When someone searches for put my house in a trust in Google, the near me or estate planning, near me always pops up.
Yes.
Do they need somebody who's right around the corner from them, or?
I don't think they need someone. Actually, I'm sure they don't need someone that's right around the corner. Sometimes they feel more comfortable with that. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm near New Jersey border. I have clients in New Jersey, as many clients in New Jersey I have in Pennsylvania. But you don't really need that, I believe, in this kind of situation because you may be once or twice visiting the attorney. In my situation, sometimes I go to the client, depending on the situation. So it's when you're dealing with these kind of documents and it's not an ongoing activity where you need to see the attorney on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, they don't necessarily have to be near you. It would be more of a research as far as your comfort level with the attorney. And if it's a little bit farther away, the world we live in now, there's Zoom, there's always a telephone. Executing the documents you'd need to do in person, but that might only be one trip.
Could it be done remotely? Like if somebody's in, somebody's adult child wants to help them with this, they can be in Arizona, for example.
Right. Oh, yes. Most certainly. I mean, the execution has to be in person in front of a notary. It doesn't necessarily have to be the attorney. I have done them in far away in Pennsylvania, the other side of Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh area. It's a little far for me. But, I'm able to send the documents out there. They get a notary and we go over everything through Zoom or through FaceTime or whatever's working. So they're actually in person signing the document, but I'm not necessarily there. And at the same point, as you stated, the adult children, if the client wants their children to be involved, they most certainly can be on the phone or on Zoom and be involved at that time. But it's the person who owns the property. It's their estate planning that they're doing.
Right.
So they have to be involved.
Putting assets into a trust is all part of estate planning.
Correct. Estate planning, from this perspective, is what we're doing is we're looking to see what you're going to do. What do you want to do with your assets? after you pass away. That's estate planning. So estate planning deals with financial issues through financial powers of attorney, healthcare issues through healthcare power of attorney, and wills and or trusts, which are what's utilized to direct assets that are in your name currently, what might be in your name in the future, and where they go after you pass, and how they get to the ultimate goal.
But I know whenever I search best elder care attorney near me or best trust attorney near me, I know your name pops up a lot with the Google. If somebody was looking to just get this thing started, what do you suggest the first steps would be?
Well, the first steps obviously would be to give us a call. We do a free consult. We also have, if the question is, is a trust right for me? We do have a checklist or a questionnaire that we provide, that we can provide, that basically gives people a little bit of questions to ask themselves as far as what their desires are, because that is really what determines whether a trust would work for them or is a good option for them. Let's put it that way. Because I don't believe there is a right or wrong. The question is what they're trying to accomplish, and then what actual legal vehicles would help them accomplish their goals.
Nice. And that questionnaire is free?
Yes.
Okay.
It's free.
We'll put a link to it underneath the video.
That'd be great. Yeah,
There you go.
good idea.
Okay. Let's do that. And when people are looking for a trust or estate planning attorney, are they able to contact you easily?
Yes, we have phone, via email. Just give us a call. We usually, if we're not in the office, we call back within 24 hours. Again, we do all kinds of consults. Can be in person if that's what somebody wants. It could be in Zoom. It could be on the phone. A lot of times there's just questions they need to ask to get started because they hear a lot of different things nowadays. So it's more of a point of trying to get to understand what it is that they're looking for, and then we can explain how we can help.
Nice. And that's the best number to reach at? The 855-992-6337?
Yep, that's perfect.
And your website, scottbloomlaw.com. Doesn't get easier than that.
Nope. Try and make it as easy as possible.
All right. Thanks.
Appreciate it.